Hello, hello, welcome back. How
Hello.
exciting. Today we're going to talk about caregiving and having more joy in our lives and doing things smarter and more effective. I have Cindy Van Eeckhout. Now, Cindy you're in France right now, correct?
That's correct. I'm in the
Let our
south of
listeners know where you're at. What city?
It's a very small village and the name is Aubs. It's near a beautiful lake, the Lac de Sainte-Croix. That is how they say it in France.
Yes, and I have to say to the listeners, some of the best times when I was in the Air Force, I'm retired from the Air Force now, was when I was in southern France for almost 8.5 months. Amazing. I was 45 minutes west of Marseille in Ist, which is Istres. So, welcome, Cindy. I want our listeners to know a little bit more about you. We're going to talk about joy, being more effective with our time and such. And what I know about you, you're just a light, a beacon of hope, and just very inspiring. I've been watching you for a while, and other people say that about you. But let's tell our listeners a little bit about your history and what you do for work.
Okay, thank you. And down, so thank you so much. I'm so grateful to be on your beautiful radio show. And I'm going to go back a little bit into the past. So I'm originally from Belgium. And after finishing my master's degrees, I started to work in the corporate world. I did it for 8 years. I loved it, learned so much, had great colleagues. I learned my husband there as well. So this is the most beautiful part of it, of course. But after a while, after 8 years, we felt like, okay, is there anything more in our lives? Because I was a sales manager responsible for 10 people on the top 100 companies. But we felt like doing something for ourselves. And there we followed our hearts to realize our dreams. And we came all the way to the south of France, where we're still there now after 23 years. And we started first with our number one company. It was Alegria B&B. It was a bed and breakfast. And the word alegria, you will see, this will follow us for until today for more than 20 years now. It means in Spanish, joy of life. And we started Alegria B&B because we wanted to inspire others to have this joy and to feel this joy. And so we came to the south of France because there's a lot of nature in the village we live. And in this beautiful nature, I do believe that joy can start. So this is what we did for 20 years. We did it together, loved it. We saw people from all over the world. And for me, this was like an experience. And it was traveling thanks to all the cultures and all the guests that came to our place. While doing so, 10 years later, we started a second company. It was Alegria Boutique. That was more like an art boutique with decoration, but also jewelry. The jewelry I'm wearing, it's one of the creators that with whom I worked because it's like a little passion of mine. And that was there the joy of giving. So we had the joy of giving and sharing with the B&B, the joy of giving with the boutique. And then COVID hit. And all of a sudden, there was no boutique and B&B open anymore because everything was closed worldwide. So this is where we started to think, because this was like a challenge. We tried to see it as an opportunity. And of course, when it's happening, you don't see the opportunities yet. But at the end, we found and created a third company, Alegria Real Estate. And this was all about the joy of living, because we knew what it was coming from abroad to all the way of France and having this beautiful experience here. And we wanted to help people to find not just a house, but a home here. So, and then the last company, and this is all my story about the joy of life, is like 3 years ago. We, through 3 years, we decided that after 20 years of Alegria B&B and Boutique, we said, it's time for a new chapter. So we ended that chapter, and I didn't know. So we kept the real estate part, but I knew it was not 100% aligned with me. So my husband is still doing it, but I knew something else would come on my path. And this is Alegria Coaching. So this is the fourth company. And with Alegria Coaching, I empower driven business women to reclaim time, energy, and joy without sacrificing their success. So this is what I do today. And it's thanks to all the experience I have in the corporate, in 20 years of entrepreneurships, and with all the ups and the downs that go with it. Because if you want to be successful in one hand side on your job, but also want to create a balance with your family, your partner, and with your friends, it can be very challenging. So
Yeah.
this is the basis. And I had some breakdowns that became my breakthroughs that are now the basis of my joy of life method. So this is a long explanation. Sorry that I didn't let you talk. But then now the people will know why alegria and joy of life is so important for me, because it's been for more than 20 years now that I'm creating things that has to do with joy of life.
Wow, it's just amazing. And I'm curious myself, Cindy, and I'm sure the listeners are too. Is your husband as optimistic as you are? Because you are extremely optimistic.
He is. And I must
Mhm.
say, it's very rare, but we co-founded and co-created all the four businesses together. We always work together, so for more than 20 years. So I think you have to be a very good team as from day one to be able to do that, because if it's not working day one, it will never happen. And yes, he is also a beautiful sunshine in my house.
Oh, that is so special because I know a lot of people would love that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that do not work with their spouses or partners. Yes, yes. Well, let me ask you this. So you're coaching, you feel called, Cindy, to now help empower women. What is your ideal client? If somebody comes to you and they're like, I like this lady, I've been watching her on LinkedIn, I've seen her somewhere else, you know, not everybody's a good fit, but what's a good client for you?
You said it, the first thing is the energy. It needs to be on both sides, that both people feel like, yes, this is something I like. But in general, I work with businesswomen, whatever, if they work in the corporate world or as an entrepreneur. I like driven and passionate women, even though in general they're between 35 and 60 and they love what they do, but they feel in general quite overwhelmed. They feel stressed. They feel exhausted, guilty, and unfulfilled. And why? Because they lack a little bit of self-care. There is a work-life imbalance. And in general, they battle with perfectionism. And so they don't like to delegate. And these things make that they are completely disconnected with their joy in life. And this is what I do, because it's not that what they're doing is wrong. I'm not there to say they have to change the job, whatever, going from corporate to an entrepreneur or the other way around. It's just like feeling again what truly matters to them in order to get this work-life balance, to get this self-care, and to work smarter, that they have more time for them and their loved ones. So this is what I do. And this, my ideal client is somebody who's really committed to say, like, I like in one hand side what I do, but success feels a little bit empty inside and I want to change. And I'm really committed to work on it. And I can guarantee you, with all the clients I have, if you have this passion to change it and you're committed, I can help them change anything. And they will feel this joy again inside.
Mm. I like how you said, Cindy, if they're committed, because sometimes people want what we call in America that magic quick blue pill. I want instant gratification right now. Yes.
And yeah, it doesn't exist. It's so beautiful that just this quick win, it never exists. Whatever, if it's in relationships, if in it's business, in success and leadership, it doesn't work. But there's one thing, and when I come back to this joy, because maybe I'm going to give the definition that for me is important when I talk about joy, because yeah, it can mean a lot and nothing at the same time. For me, joy is like a way of being, and it's sometimes something that's coming from inside of us. It's like a source of vitality that is coming every day. But if you don't have this internal way of being, you just don't feel it. But the beauty of joy is it's there for everyone. It's for free, but you need sometimes somebody to help you and to guide you. And this is what I do, to find it back inside of you. And the beauty is that it's there for everyone. And people just forget that they are entitled to have this beautiful joy of life as well in their lives.
Cindy, my show is syndicated and it goes out to a lot of different areas in Canada, the Virgin Islands, and all throughout the United States. Right now in America, we have a lot of division. You know, we have people that are Republicans, Democrats, or other, and there's a lot of division. How do we help people, you know, find more joy, more resiliency? That's what I'm all about, resiliency and courage. How do we show people, even though people are different, to how we can have more resiliency and joy?
The only thing that the first step, it's not the only thing, it's the first thing, it's clarity. It's clarity on what truly matters to you, clarity on what you want in your life, in your professional life, in your personal life, in what truly matters to you. And once you've got this clarity, then you're just going to focus, and you focus on the things that will help you to get where you want to get. And when you have this focus, you work on the energy. And if you work on clarity, more focus, more energy, this will always pave the way to more success, more joy, and also more time to do the things you love.
Yeah. What is the biggest concern that women bring to you? Because I know I'm a coach too, and it's a lot of times women want more confidence, but when they come to you, what are they coming to you mostly for? What's their issues?
Their issues, like I said in the beginning, there is a stress and overwhelm because they're wearing too many hats and too many responsibilities, and they don't take enough care for themselves. So for me, my clients, it's not the confidence, it's more like the stress overwhelm, the perfectionism. And these are the things I work on. And I work first on their self-care, because if you're a businesswoman, we are wired in general to first do the hard work. We work for the business, we want to deliver, we want the results, and we do all this. And then maybe at the end, if we have a little bit of time left and a little bit of energy, then we do something for ourselves. What I do is I flip it. I flip it around and say, no, you just first do something in the morning. You have your daily ritual and do something for yourself. Energize yourself first, because if you've got the energy inside of you, you will be able to give energy back. And you will be able at that time to work and prime your day in a different way. And success will flow. And this is for me one of the most important things, is work on the clarity, work on the self-care in order to boost your energy. And maybe a last thing there, because you said, what are they worrying about if they come to you? I sometimes also hear about, apart from the exhaustion and the overwhelm, they say like, I've got like everything. I've got a good job, well paid. I've got a husband, I've got kids. In general, in theory, I must feel happy and joyful, but I'm not, and I don't even dare to say it out loud. And this is what I hear. And it makes my heart break, because then I say like, you see, they've got everything in theory that would normally make them happy and fulfilled, but they're not. So, and this is where I switch and flip things in order they just smile again for the small little things in life that we just forget in the rat race. So this is what I do in my day-to-day coaching with my clients.
Very, very needed, because what I see, Cindy, is that, you know, women need to be more resilient. And so many people, like I'm 61, so I guess you can't work with me because I'm over your your demographics. I had to tease you on that one. But what I'm getting at is, you know, women, like I'm 61, I have a mother, 84, who's full-time, you know, I'm the full-time caregiver. I have to always watch, and I still want to work, even though I could quit working. I mean, we have to have meaning and purpose in our life. So walk me through your morning rituals. I know I have some rituals, but I want to hear your ritual, and I'm sure the listeners do too.
With pleasure. But first, I want to come back on your age, because, because I love that you're 61 and all the beauty comes from within you and you look amazing.
Oh,
So
thank
it's
you.
when when I was telling about my clients, it's not really the real age. It's however you feel inside. And this is what you radiate, and you radiate so much energy. And this is so great. And I love that you say, I still want to work because this is what you like to do. It's not working. It's like helping your coaching clients. It's like doing the things that bring you this purpose and this meaning in your life. And then it's not really work. It's just like, yeah, doing something nice during the day. So coming back now to my morning ritual. This
Yes.
is something that everybody has to decide for themselves. I stand up 1 hour earlier than normal because it's important for me. So I start first with a meditation. It depends a little bit. It can be 5-10 minutes meditation, and it's nice because when you wake up, you're still a little bit in this in between modus. You're not full energized yet. So I start first with that, and after the meditation, I've got a gratitude journal, and this morning as well, I note down between 5 and 10 things I'm grateful for. And it's so funny to see while you're doing that, you begin your day already with a smile. And when I say grateful, it's not always the big things that will be happening. I live in nature and I'm so grateful for nature. I'm grateful for the birds that I hear. I'm grateful for the trees and the blue sky. I'm grateful for so many small things. And then, of course, some days there are some special things that come on my path. And of course, I note them down. But I start after meditation with the gratefulness. Then I start with a priming of my day to really get all these positive emotions that I do priming sometimes from Tony Robbins. I do also very nice inner service.
Oh, yes. I know what you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah, that is really nice. I have also my mentor, John Assaraf. He has a very nice inner size app. I do sometimes that. So I switch a little bit depending on the mood I'm in. So this takes me for 30 minutes. So this is the slow part and the priming your day. And then the second part, this is more physical. So I do sometimes some yoga. These are the 5 Tibetans, which is great because it doesn't take a lot of time and it's very good for being, how do you say that? Just the muscles and everything, waking up your muscles. And
Yeah. Stretching and being more fluid.
it's that. And then I combine it depending on the day with some more strength exercising. And that's 12 minutes. So I do the yoga and the strengthening, or I only do the strengthening, but I do a little bit more and I do some extra weight. So, but then after 1 hour, I did something for my mind and I did something for my body. And some days I will tell to the listeners as well, because this seems like, oh my gosh, this is so great and perfect. I'm not perfect either. There are days where I don't have this hour, and that's fine. But just then, I try then to focus on my meditation. I take a smaller one of 5 minutes, my gratefulness, and then I do the 5 Tibetans of the yoga. It takes me 5 and 5 minutes. So on 10 minutes, I can do it. I don't need the hour if there is something happening that day that I wasn't expecting, and that's fine. And this is also something I learn and I teach to my clients is to be okay that things are sometimes different. And even if you've got the best intention, just staying in this ritual, and even if you've got only 1 minute, then just close your eyes 1 minute and do some breathing. Just do some breathing for 1 minute. And that's
Yeah.
better.
When you do your breathing, do you do it like a lot of us do, where you breathe through your nose and then you exhale through your mouth, and the exhale's a little bit longer than the intake?
What is important is it's like dancers, they breathe from the belly. So if you breathe, it's like a balloon. You breathe not with here, it's not your shoulders going up, but it's your belly like a balloon that is blowing. Then you hold it and you keep it longer than you were inhaling. And when you exhale, it's like exhaling through a straw. And sometimes with my inner size of John Asraf, he says like, you breathe in calmness, you keep it,
Yes.
and you breathe out whatever, if it's stress or overwhelm of negative energy. And this is so great because you feel it going in and then going out. And I can literally feel the energy go all the way through my body, through my legs, everywhere, my arms. And this is this, again, this energy that we have all inside of us, but we don't activate it. And breathing is the most simple exercise we can do to have it all up and running.
You talked about one of my favorite subjects, guilt. Well, I don't want to be guilty, but what I'm talking about is not feeling guilty. Why do women, from your experience, Cindy, why do they feel so much guilt? I mean, even I'm guilty of that.
I do admit that I feel guilty, and I think it's something. It's not that we learn it at school, but I've got the impression, if I check with so many of my clients, that this is this image we have of a woman. We have to be perfect. Again, I don't like to use the word, but I'm going to say what most of us has as an image. We want to be perfect as a wife. We want to be perfect as a mother. We want to be perfect as a successful businesswoman. We want to be perfect as a friend. And having this image of this being perfect with all these different hats, if you're not working on one of these hats, there is this feeling which is naturally coming, which is called guilt. And I can tell you that men, because I had a beautiful conversation about it with my husband, men, they don't think like that. And I think they're much better at that, because I think like, I'm focusing today on my work, or I'm focusing now on the children, or I'm focusing on this or on that. And while they're focusing, they're doing a great job. And it doesn't even come into their mind to feel guilty. So this guilt feeling, it's a feeling. And we are not our feelings, we have feelings. So while we are feeling guilty, it's because we allow this feeling to come up. So we can rewire that very easily, saying like, I don't have to feel guilty because I take time for my kids now. If I want to feel guilty, I can do some self-sabotage, and I can really be very hard on myself. I will feel guilty, that's for sure. But I don't have to go there. I can just enjoy being now with my children. Or I can, that's another one, I can enjoy taking a break. And this is also a big one, slowing down and taking a pause at the moment that normally in the middle of the day nobody's taking a break. You would feel guilty because you take a break, whatever, for 5 minutes, 1 hour, because the sun is there, or you want to do for a small little walk in a park, in nature, or wherever. If we feel this is what we need to do, we just have to do it. We don't have to explain to anyone. We don't have to judge ourselves. And we don't have to create this feeling of guilt. Because again, guilt is a feeling that we create ourselves. And women, we are champions in it.
Oh, we're champions in it. I have to support.
Unfortunately.
I agree. Gosh, all these years, and I'm American, and we're conditioned, achieve, achieve, achieve. Even in the Air Force, go, go, go. Even if you're tired, don't stop. And not only are you supposed to succeed, you're supposed to help your fellow, this is when I was in the Air Force, your airmen, help them. You never got downtime. You never had a break. And then I found out at the very end of my career, which has been about 20 years ago in the Air Force, that's when a lot of people start breaking down if they stayed in 20 years, because they have not practiced self-care, what you're talking about. And so they're not as resilient, because self-care, as you're saying, Cindy, is so very vital.
And when I was talking about the pause as well, I truly believe that slowing down, it's not a weakness. For me, it's a wisdom. And if you see it like that, it's not a weakness, but a wisdom, then the guilt will disappear as well. Then you won't have this feeling. I said, okay, this is wisdom. And this is really where the clarity and the power lives. And most very known people in the world, they had their greatest ideas when they were having a break, when they were under the shower, when they were doing in nature.
Yes.
Well, so see it like all the big inventors in life, you will have this wisdom as well. So you are allowed to take the break and not feeling guilty at all.
Yeah, I can remember many times, when I was driving or just really calmed down, that's when something pops in your head. Ah, this is, something popped in my head for my work, something that would improve my work or improve my message and such. Well, we have a few minutes left, and I want to ask you to share a success story of somebody you worked with. You don't have to say their name for privacy, that came to you that needed more resiliency, more joy in their life, more time, practical work balance. Let's share a story with the listeners, a quick story.
Okay. Which one I'm gonna tell? So this is I'm gonna maybe, yeah, I'll start with the first one. This is, she's an entrepreneur doing and being in the business already for more than 7 years, having a great business. And she wanted to scale her business in one hand side and have more work-life balance. Because while being a solopreneur, you know, it takes a lot of our time. So we were checking together how she could, first of all, prioritize self-care to gain more energy, and secondly, work smarter, not harder. And there we went through all the different products that she has, and she was going to stop one of the modules that she was selling because she said, I don't think it's so successful. It's only selling in one country, not in the other. So, and I have too many things maybe. So I was checking out and I was telling what is truly the most important thing for you, what you like most of everything you're doing, of all the services you're offering. And she said, that's the one, but I don't think it's the right one. I said, but if this is the one, let's go dive deeper into, which we did. And at the end of already 1 month and a half, not only we were able to change everything, she was able to, I think she had like triple the number of people. We checked out the pricing as well because the pricing was completely out of date. So she more than doubled the pricing to make it even more interesting with more tools. So in 2 months, she multiplied everything by 6 only on the professional part of the pricing and the modules. Apart from that, she felt so energized because this was really the thing she loved most. And now she's breaking it to another level and she wants to go completely international with it. And with that, she is now taking and having a morning ritual. She has a sport coach from time to time, not every day, but she's making time every week for herself. And you feel the energy. She lost weight, she's looking amazing, and her business is going well. So this is one of the things. It just started with one call and one conversation of one entrepreneur. And then maybe in a corporate world, the things are different there because you have less different heads. But I was impressed with another client, the pressure you have in the corporate world as well. And there is this pressure, and you don't dare to say anything because you have all these other bosses on top of you. And there it was more about boundaries, about perfectionism, saying progress is enough. It doesn't need to be perfect, and not the people pleasing part. And they're also having this work-life balance and working smarter. And with her, she gained 5 hours a week just by changing things, how she was working, delegating things, which she had difficulties to do in the beginning, and prioritizing your top 3 that will move the needle. So these are 2 examples without saying the names of the people, but it's very different because we all are different. But at the end, it's always the joy, the happiness, and the success that they will experience, and most important, down the peace of mind.
Yeah, that's important. Cindy, we're out of time. Can you quickly give us your contact information so people can follow you and reach out to you?
Of course. So if the things I shared, if it resonates, you don't have to figure it out alone. You can go to my website. It's alegriacoaching.eu. So Alegria with one L, ALEGRIA, coaching, one word, .eu. And on my website, you will find as well my Joy of Life assessment. It's a simple quiz, but it's so good to have the next step, because you will discover there what is giving you the stress, the overwhelm, and the exhaustion, and you will get some personalized tips to reduce the stress, to reclaim your time, and to find the freedom that you deserve. And
Thank
then
you
there
so
is,
much, Cindy.
can
We're
I
out
give
of
my
time.
LinkedIn as well?
Yes.
That's the last part. My LinkedIn is my name. It's Cindy Van Eeckhout. It's CINDY. Second word, Van, VAN, and the last part, Eekhout, it's EECKHOUT. And if something's happening, you will find it on my website or on my LinkedIn.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for your time and energy, Cindy. And to everyone listening in, stay empowered. We'll see you next time. I'm Dawn Westmoreland, your syndicated talk host. Be well.
Thank you, Dawn. Very grateful.